This is a presentation of a new challenging species of computer program. It is designed to be inhabited, furnished and evolved by the single user as a self-documenting diary, a personal private tool meant to empower its user in contemporary everyday life. It's not a finished product. It has many weaknesses and several windows of opportunities to be optimized. From the here presented version, new versions shall be developed on the basis of feedback and creative ideas from generations of users. As a freeware tool, the translation of its interface to many languages is easily within reach. And as a cross-platform tool, Windows, Mac and soon Linux, it is launched to draw on creative resources from the most different computer cultures. This is, so to speak, the front door to the program. The program is constructed to be extremely adaptable for users to arrange, furnish, adapt and use according to their own habits and needs, personal relevances and themes. And it includes options for supplementing diary text with pictograms as a kind of shorthand for habits in their everyday life. It's a program for entirely private journaling and diary keeping, concerning whatever you find worth qualifying or quantifying in your everyday life stream.
Each day it produces a day card with a central field for the automatically time-stamping journaling, a menu with various options for setting preferences, and links for week calendar and address stack. The calendar is always opening on the actual date and is a tool for swift navigation to previous day cards. The addresses stack is searchable across all fields. You can initiate emails or websites from the address cards. User preferences can be set for buttons to renameable accumulating memo fields to which can be quoted from daily text, 7 quantitative fields, 5 updatable counting fields, and links to a series of other windows and functions. If all were selected, the day cards would look like this. Here you see a menu through which user gains access to install pictogram buttons around the central text field. Such buttons are organized in 12 libraries, from each of which user can select any number. These are pictogram buttons, referring to a variety of bodily habits. Once positioned on a day card platform, they function as quick shorthand. When clicked, their symbols, glyphs, enters timestamp in the daily text. Same type of selection applies to the other libraries. Here, shorthand signs, glyphs relating to the citizen information household. It is up to the single user to improvise the glyph button placings, and maybe after a while to introduce some kind of system. Here is an example from one user. But there are also, one click away on the day cards, alternative backgrounds, where shorthand symbols can be placed by user, and where some are pre-placed, here a few relating to somatic affairs. And here another, an abstract icosphere with more pre-placed glyph buttons. Let's call it a domo-centric view. All entries in the writing field are automatically allotted a time address, but selecting the retro notation, you specify a time address which inserts new line at the correct spot in the scrolling text field. A special window on the day card receives a copy of each glyph entered and places it within the corresponding 10-minute fields. This permits user to browse back and forth over a series of days to recognize habits and changes in the live stream. There is a built-in browser. It has weaknesses and shortcomings, but its force is that you can produce self-named link buttons in it. They arrive in your personal cyberspace and can be placed as you choose. There is a structure suggesting background picture, but this is easily hidden. A convenient feature is a table for user storing of personal usernames, passwords, and PIN codes. But if you are paranoid, don't use it. 7 pure data fields are available, but there are also options for counting functions attached to specific glyphs. When such glyphs are used, they are followed by a count number. If you click the To Sleep glyph, then on a Get Up glyph next morning, the elapsed sleep length is inserted. This is an accumulating scrolling field, the data of which can be transferred to other applications. It is a pressing task to construct a process to transform its data to curves with options for zooming in and out. Search, you can search for a word or a glyph. When first occurrence is shown, it is in its context, Control key and re-clicking to see further occurrences. But Parse Analyze produces a file where all the dated occurrences of the glyph or the word are quoted within its context. Here you can create permanent shortcut buttons to your most relevant programs, folders and files. But you can also attach links for text, photos, videos or sound recordings to a specific day card.
A peculiarity of the program is that when it is visible, it hides the rest of the desktop. There are two different aspects of this. One is that the day card generated actually have 8 more windows supplementing the main window. 6 of them present various contextual backgrounds for distribution of glyph buttons, users pasting of graphics, and development of mind maps. One is organized as a family and friends portraits and data window. And one is a window where the glyph entries from that day are extracted from the text and placed in the corresponding 10-minute fields around the clock. And second is the pragmatic value of maintaining the diary keeping as a very private and intimate endeavor, not to be left visible when computer is used for other purposes and screen visible for neighbors, family and colleagues. This tool represents an entirely new species of computer programs because it offers this rich variety of facilities for a user to journal and reflect the ongoing everyday life stream, and do it according to shifting and developing personal relevances, and over time develop, design and integrate all private handling of digital information via the computer from a first-person perspective. In view of the demands to fulfill these objectives, the program is basically as complex as the most advanced computer games. But while the complexities of games typically will offer a tutorial, helping the player step by step to train the increasing levels of abilities and typically imply a comparability of achieved skill among competing players, such levels of abilities cannot be defined for the phenomenologue solitaire. Here, the user autonomously sets the rules of the game. This nature of the program does not imply that the program cannot be improved. On the contrary, its launching as a freeware program for user-driven development puts all users in their own test pilot seat, irrespective of relative computer literacy. I hope you will consider joining the beta testing by downloading the installer from Phenomenologue.dk. There are no obligations attached, but supplementing your personal advantages from using the tool, a possibility for helping future users by spotting bugs and errors and suggesting improvements for future versions. You can expect full support and email answers to all questions along the way. But the extreme adaptability of the tool, making it fit for users with all degrees of computer literacy, does put some demands to the beginner. You must count on using some time, getting to know the options, and start arranging, accommodating and personalizing the interface to your own taste and needs. And also keep in mind that various strategies for such diary keeping can be chosen and alternated. As a beginner, start disregarding other windows on the day card than the main window. Test the hide button. Test installing a few glyph buttons via the glyph menu. Test, if internet is connected, the built-in browser and the option of creating your own links in the My Cyberspace window. And test the tricks menu to get a feel of available shortcuts. And then keep in mind that various strategies for such diary keeping can be chosen and alternated. Just once a day, or even more seldom, perhaps at the same time, typing a short or long spontaneous text narrating events, situations and states without specifying when. B. Input more times along the day or night with automatic timestamping and possible occasional use of the glyph shorthand, for example symptoms, medicine, mail and phone in and out. C. Once or more times a day with use of retrospective timestamping and more differentiated use of glyphs, optionally also annotating to earlier entries. D. Employing counting and updating functions, for example cigarettes, alcohol, medicine intake, physiological measurements, blood pressure, etc., and sleep length. E. Employing built-in quotation options to user-labeled thematic fields, for example, own doctor, own body, relatives, etc. And then more advanced uses, building mind maps, adding photos and data to the family window, etc., etc. Thank you for your patience reaching to the end of this presentation. Even if you don't want to join the beta testing, you may help spreading the word.